the brink of destruction. We knew that we were about to be slaughtered and we had no power to fight against it. Keep going.
Verse 4. So Esther's maids and her chamberlains came in and told it her.
So now we getting back to Esther. Now all of these things are taking place with Haman and the king, and now Esther is about to get the report. She about to get the report of her maids and her chamberlains, the sisters, the women, Salakia, the women who worked for her. Keep going.
Then was the queen exceedingly grieved.
You know why? Because the Esther shared something that Mordecai shared, and that was what? The compassion for her people. And if you want to be a sister that is the standard of Esther, that is something that every sister you must have it. You have to have it, regardless of your relationship problems, regardless of whatever is going on in your household, with your children. What you have to have as a sister to be that standard, to have that standard, is compassion for your people. You have to care about your people. You have to look at the conditions of your people, and the thing that come to your mind should be, how can we fix it? How can we fix this? How do we stop this? And I'm gonna tell you, when you start asking those questions, the Lord will start giving you the understanding and the wisdom that shows you to the answer. And for a lot of you sisters, the answer is the man you sleep with every night. For a lot of you sisters, it's him. He's the man that you pour into, because he's the one that's going to go out on them street corners. He's the one that's going to go into them prisons. He's the one that goes into them political houses and fights against the Senate and the Congress and things like that. And that's how we have to battle this thing. We got to stop thinking that the playing field is only for the brothers. You sisters are in the game too. Y'all right there with us. You cheering us on, but sometimes it's time to get to work. And Esther had got put in the game by Mordecai, and she got put to work, and she had compassion on her people. Keep going.
Kind of one con. Mordecai sent rain. Okay, so like here. Then was the queen exceedingly grieved, and she sent raiment to clothe Mordecai, and to take away his sackcloth from him, but he received it not.
Y'all understand that, right?
Kind of one con.
All right, come on.
Verse 5. Then called Esther for Hatak, one of the king's chamberlains, whom he had appointed to attend upon her, and gave him a commandment to Mordecai to know what it was and why it was.
Keep going.
So Hatak went forth to Mordecai unto the street of the city, which was before the king's gate.
Just so you know, that Esther sent Hatak to go and question Mordecai to see what was going on. Keep going.
Verse 7. And Mordecai told him of all that had happened unto him, and of the sum of money that Haman had promised to pay to the king's treasuries for the Jews to destroy them. Verse 8. And he gave him the copy of the writing of the decree that was given to at Shushan to destroy them, to show it to Esther, and to declare it unto her, and to charge her that she should go in unto the king to make supplication unto him, and to make requests before him for her people.
So now here we go. Mordecai is telling Esther all the things that's happening. And now Mordecai is doing what? What is Mordecai doing here that he's done before with Esther?
So like I said,
come on.
He's trying to instill responsibility into her. She's the queen, but she's over her people, and she should do something for her people.
Yeah, a little bit. You got to bring it home. He's instilling something into her, but he's doing something a little bit more direct.
He's like commanding her. He's like being her father.
Sisters, anybody want to take a shot? You was close with you on it really with the last thing you said. But what is Mordecai doing to Esther? No one? We on Esther 4. This is Esther 4. And
Salakia, it's 6.
Oh, is it 6?
No, 8. Salakia is 8.
4 and 8, right?
Kind of one
Yeah,
concept.
we're on Esther 4 and 8. But what is he doing? Giannis, you was on it. I just wanted a different word. Remember, we talking to the sisters here. What is Mordecai giving her? Come on, sis.
Is it an order?
Yeah, Mordecai
Just a
giving her an
straight-up
order. Mordecai saying you need to go do this, and you need to entice the king, and then you need to save your people. That's what Mordecai is telling her, that you need to go do this. You understand? Just like a lot of sisters, you get orders, right? But we're going to see how Esther handles this order, which this is a heavy task. This is a task that she could argue she shouldn't be burdened with. It ain't her responsibility to save the nation of Israel. I mean, ain't that the job of men? Isn't that the job for brothers to do, to go out there and save the nation of Israel? I mean, why can't brothers just save themselves? Let's see how Esther handles this situation, this order that she getting. Go ahead. Come on, Yanazar.
Verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
And Hatak came and told Esther the words of Mordecai.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 10. Again, Esther spake unto Hatak
Mm-hmm.
and gave him commandments unto Mordecai.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 11. All the king's servants and the people of the king's provinces do know that whosoever, whether man or woman, shall come unto the king into the inner court, who is not called,
Mm-hmm.
there is one law of this, to put him to death.
This is, hold on, there was one law of what?
Of his,
Of his.
to put him to death.
Meaning the king law, to put him to death. You understand? Keep going.
Except such to whom the king shall hold out the golden scepter,
Mm-hmm.
that he may live.
Meaning what? What's happening here? What's being said?
They're giving it, if I may say,
Go ahead.
they're giving it up to the king's judgment. If the king puts up the scepter, then you'll live.
Yeah, that's correct. But what's the other part that's happening here? What's being established here? Come on. Ultimatum? What you mean? You want to read it again? Read it again. Mm-hmm.
And all the king's servants and the people of the king's provinces do know
Mm-hmm.
that whosoever, whether man or woman, shall come,
whether man or woman, come on,
unto the king into the inner court,
mm-hmm.
who is not called,
Mm-hmm.
there is one law of his, to put him to death, except such to whom the king shall hold out the scepter, the golden scepter,
Mm-hmm.
that he may live.
What's being established here? It's simple.
They're trying to block.
Come on. It's a rule, but what's the rule?
So, like,
Come on, sis.
Salakia, is it saying that he's just gonna kill a specific person?
Mm-mm.
I mean, people.
Nah, this is. Anybody else want to take a shot?
So, like, is he trying to put a block so that nobody could tell, change the king's mind?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It's right in front of you. It's right in front of you. It's right in front of you. Don't you think it too? Y'all, I'll tell you where you're messing up. Y'all are thinking too deep about it. Right? It's right. It's what he said. He said it. Hold on 1 second.
Unless the king calls the person forward.
Unless the king calls him. If the king don't tell you to come into his chambers, then what? Because why? Because you're gonna die. He gonna unalive you. That's it. That's all the king is. That's all that's being established here. If you come to his chambers unannounced, then you will die. That is the law. Which means what? Now, if you hearing this and you're a servant of the king, y'all ever seen some of the movies where someone they'll burst through the doors and say, "King, my lord," and the king will say, "Nah, not right now." Imagine you're the servant who has something important to say to the king, but you're hearing this. Now you know something important's going on outside, but you also know you ain't been invited to the king's chamber. What's the problem here? You gonna think twice. You gonna think like, oh man, war is outside the walls right now. But if I go into this king's chamber unannounced, he gonna kill me. You understand? So that's what's happening here. Now that's being established. You can't go into his chambers unannounced or unwelcome or uninvited rather. Right? Keep going.
But I have not been called to come in unto the kings these 30 days.
Keep going.
Verse 12. And they told to Mordecai Esther's word.
So Esther told him, like, I ain't been, like, I can't just go into the king's chambers. Right? She's doing what? What is Esther doing?
And she making an excuse.
Woo! I didn't think you was gonna get it. I kind of wanted the sister to get it.
Oh, it's like
I kind of wanted the sister to get it, man. Esther is making excuses. What's the slogan in One West in the Israelite school of UPK? What's our mantra? Come on, sis. Yeah.
Works.
And what? There you go. No cowards, no excuses. You understand? She got an order from Mordecai. Her answer should have been con out of one con and got it done. But she had to battle Satan. She had to battle Satan. And so she's giving excuses. She's saying, but sir, you know, I know you telling me to go and do this thing with the king, but I don't think you know. That's what every brother do when he get an order. He says, sir, I don't think you know, or I don't think you understand, right? That so-and-so we go into in his room unannounced, we gonna be unalived. Right? Keep going. So now that what she said is now being brought back to Mordecai. They're talking back and forth to each other. Keep going.
Verse 13. Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther. Think not with thyself.
Now that's heavy. Now that's something that sisters we gotta have. Remember, Mordecai said, think not with thyself. Meaning what? What is he saying here, sis?
Yeah, he's saying don't just think only about yourself.
I wanted a little bit more simple than that. Any other sister? Come on, sisters. I know y'all got the answer. Y'all hear it all the time from your husband. What is Mordecai saying? What is he saying? Don't be what?
Simple?
Selfish. Don't be selfish. Don't think about yourself. Don't think about your comfort. Don't think about your career. Don't think about your money. Don't think about how you eat, your household. Don't think about your own husband, your own kids. Be selfless and don't be selfish, and think about your people. Think about how your brother's kids is eating. Of course, you're thinking about your kids, but what about Makawa's kids? What about Captain I.S.U.P.K's kids? When is the last time you ever thought about Captain I.S.U.P.K's kids? And if they had clothes on their back? When have you ever thought about it? You've never thought about it. It's not, you don't even cross your mind. But Mordecai is telling her, don't be selfish, man. There's brothers and sisters out here who are getting ready to lose their life because of a man that you lay with, and you're in position to do something about it. And so he's charging her. He's commanding her that she go do it. Keep reading.
Think not with thyself that thou shalt escape in the king's house more than all the Jews.
Don't think, sis, because you got that nursing job that you good. Don't think that, oh, you the manager, huh? I'm gonna throw you out there, sis. You the manager at Dunkin' Donuts, huh? Yeah, you manage that Dunkin' Donuts. You safe. You ain't down here at the bottom with them other brothers, gritty and starving and selling drugs. You the manager of a hotel, or you work in a government official building, or you work in some kind of Fortune 500 million company. Don't think that you can hide in your oppressor's house. Right. Don't think that he's going to save you from being a nigga just like us. Don't think he'll save you from being a wetback like we are, from being a savage like we are. You are like us, and we are like you, regardless of the position you have, regardless of the money you have. Those are the lessons that what's the tennis player's name? Serena Williams has to understand. Right. Those are the lessons that all of these famous sisters get with these white men have to understand. That no matter how much you love that oppressor, he will consider you a nigger. He will do it, and it's gonna slip up. I think it happened to some famous black sister in the last few years, her husband got into an argument with her and called her the N-word. Come on. It was Halle Berry. Halle Berry's husband. Now, Halle Berry is great to us. Halle Berry walking here right now, everybody. Oh, shit. Halle Berry. Yeah. Y'all wouldn't even call her a nigga, and you black. I'm like, I ain't call her a nigga. But her white husband, the man that she's supposed to love, the man that's supposed to love her, called her the N-word. Now, that should tell you something. Right. That should tell you that what Mordecai is saying to Esther right now is 100% correct. Don't think that you can hide in the king's house. Keep going.
Verse 14. For if thou together holdest thy peace.
Give me a time check at 8:15 so we can move forward.
At this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place. But thou in thy father's house shall be destroyed.
Keep going.
And who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this?
Keep going.
Verse 15. Then Esther bade them return Mordecai this answer.
So now he's saying, go tell Mordecai what I said. Keep going.
Verse 16. Go gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me. And neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day. I also and my maidens will fast likewise. And so will I go in unto the king, which is not according to the law. And if I perish, I perish.
Ooh, what Esther's saying right here is heavy. This is heavy, man. I want a sister to explain this one. I want a sister over here to explain. Sister, this y'all time to shine. This y'all sister, man. Give it up for the sisters, man, in the Israelite school of UPK, man. I want y'all to explain this. What's happening here? What did Esther say? Read it again. Read it again.
Then Esther bade them return.
A little bit more. Read,
verse 16.
Read after fast likewise.
Okay, and so I will go in unto the king, which is not according to the law, and if I perish, I perish.
Look, this need to be on a shirt. This need to be on a shirt, damn near. She said, if I perish, I perish. What's happening here? What's happening here?
Salaki, is she talking about she's about to go lay with the king? When it says go in unto the king?
Nah, that's not what she's talking about. Y'all got to understand this so y'all could get y'all got to understand what's happening so you could get the spirit of what Esther is doing. Remember, the king, she established to Mordecai before that what? That if any man or woman went into the king's chambers unannounced, that they would die. And Mordecai said, what? Don't be selfish.
That's what you're going to say?
Don't think about yourself. Go do this thing. And Esther is saying, you know what? No sweat. And we're going to fast. We're going to pray. And then I'm going to go into the king's chamber unannounced. And if I perish, I perish. Meaning, if I die, I die. That'll just be that. Because what? Now she's thinking about her nation. And she's not thinking about who? Who's she not thinking about? Sis in the back. Let the sis in the back answer. She said herself. Now, that's a strong feat for a sister to have. That's a strong demon that a sister has to battle. You understand? We say all the time in the UPK that sisterhood is equivalent to brotherhood. It's no different. But that's a demon that you have to battle, not thinking about yourself, not thinking about your hunger, not thinking about your livelihood, but thinking about the livelihood and condition of your people. Keep going. Let's go to verse go to verse chapter 5. Go to verse chapter 5. I mean chapter 5 verse 1.
Come on, God. This is the book of Esther, chapter 5 and verse 1. Now it came to pass on the third day that Esther put on her royal apparel.
She did what?
She put on her royal apparel.
Listen, y'all, sisters, pull out the pen and paper. and start taking notes. Now, Esther is trying to save the kingdom of Israel. She's trying to save her people. Y'all just trying to get a good anniversary gift. Y'all just trying to make sure your husband is happy during Passover time. You better take some notes. I'm telling you right now. Shout out to the get sister in the back of her. She pulled the notes out like, yeah, let me get it. Get the notes ready. Read it again from the top.
Mm-hmm. Now it came to pass on the third day that Esther put on her royal apparel.
She put on that good garment, man. She put on that good garment. That thing she know her husband loved. Keep going.
And stood in the inner court of the king's house, over against the king's house. And the king sat upon his royal throne in the royal house.
Y'all sisters, y'all be doing this. Y'all know what sisters do. Y'all know what the royal king's house is in your house? They stand over there in the kitchen. When she just be in the kitchen, you walk past the bathroom and she just be standing there, she ain't even washing nothing. She washing the sponge now. Just doing this like trying to be all pretty for you, right? But she trying to get your attention. And Esther trying to get the attention of the king. Keep going.
Over against this gate of the house. Verse 2. And it was so, when the king saw Esther, the queen, standing in the court.
Standing in that kitchen. Go ahead.
That she obtained favor in his sight.
So now he walking by, he going about his business, and he see Esther standing over there. She probably was just over there, just all lily-like, just all soft and just looking all, scrumptious as all hell, I'm sure. And so the king noticed her, you understand, and said, whew, that's a bad sister right there. You understand? Keep going. Little brother gonna read for me. Well, go ahead, brother, read.
Read.
Most High, give him a hand. Brother, hey, next time come here in all black.
Yeah,
give you a job.
In all black, we got you, man. Give him that other mic, man.
Come on, Yanazar, let's get to it.
Okay. Verse 3. Oh, Salaki, I didn't finish 2. The king held out to Esther the golden scepter that was in his hand. So Esther drew near and touched the top of the scepter. Verse 3. Then said the king unto her, what wilt thou,
the bag of weed
Queen Esther, and what is thy request?
All right, it's a lie. I might have missed something. So he held out the golden scepter, meaning what?
Another one?
Now I believe I know what's happening here. But he held out the golden scepter, which meant what? That means you could come into my chambers, right? He's giving her permission to come into his chambers. Keep going.
Get that little brother that mic over there. Be happy. Okay, so
this is after her request, right? Or he's saying he's asking her what is her request, meaning what she want. She's so bad. He just go up to her and say, "What do you want? You want a new car? You want a Birkin bag? You want to go on a vacation? You want some money? What you want? Right? Come on."
You're welcome. He said, "Thank you."
Come on, let's go.
Sir. And then he said, "What wilt thou, Queen Esther, and what is thy request?" You got your own mic, man. You got your own mic. So, sir, it shall be given thee to the half of the kingdom.
Yeah, meaning whatever he's basically saying, whatever you want, you can have it. Even if it's half the kingdom, I'll give it. That's how bad this sister was. That's how bad she was. And I want y'all to realize something too, scissors. She ain't get this half of the kingdom offer because she nagged about it. That's what she didn't do. She didn't go to the kingdom and run. I heard somebody snuggle over here. Somebody said something. The sister in the back, look. She said she ain't run her mouth to try to get it. You understand? She stood there. She put on her best garment, and she was modest and very what? What's the word I'm looking for? What did she use? She used her femininity. That's what she used. She was very feminine. You understand? To get this offer. Keep going.
Kind of want to come. Verse 4. And Esther answered, if it seem good unto the king, let the king and Haman come this day unto the banquet that I have prepared for him.
So she said what? She said, if it pleases you, my lord, I'm cooking this oxtail and rice and peas. I'm cooking this good food for the king. But bring your man Haman with you. Bring him with you. Right? Keep going.
Verse 5. Then the king said, cause Haman to make haste, that he may do as Esther had said. So the king and Haman came to the banquet that Esther had prepared.
So now Esther, Haman, and the king, Ahasuerus, they all now with Esther, you understand, about to eat of the banquet that she prepared for her husband, the king, right? And Haman is there. So we're going to see what Esther got up her sleeves. Come on.
Verse 6. And the king said unto Esther at the banquet of wine, what is thy petition?
Meaning what? What is it that you asking for? You brought Haman here. What is it that you need? What is it that you want? Keep going.
And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request, even to the half of the kingdom, it shall be performed.
Keep going.
Verse 7. Then answered Esther and said, my petition and my request is, if I have found favor in the sight of the king, and it pleases the king to grant my petition and to perform my request, let the king and Haman come to the banquet that I shall prepare for them, and I will do it tomorrow, as the king hath said.
Keep going.
Verse 9. Then went Haman forth that day, joyful and with a glad heart. But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not up, nor moved for him, he was full of indignation against Mordecai.
He hated Mordecai. You understand? He hated him. Keep going.
Verse 10.
And again, sisters, y'all got to put yourself in Esther's shoes. You got that boss at your slave. The boss at your slave is what? He nice to you. He nice to you. He says, hey, Miss Jenkins, how you doing, Miss Jenkins? Why? Because you making him money. You the bad sister in the nursing home. You the bad sister in the hospital. You making him all kinds of money, and you doing your job well. You doing it better than them white women for sure. You do it way better than them. So he loves you because you bringing prosperity to him. But you know who that white man don't love? He don't love that nigga you sleep with every night. Right. He don't give him respect when we see him on the street. He don't treat him with respect. And when he see him, he don't, hey, how you doing? You be all polite and be respectful. You know what they do? They say, get a job. Why don't you get a job? You out there teaching on the street corner, but you're the black KKK. You're full of, that's how they talk about your husband. You understand? They don't have no love for your husband. Haman had no love for Mordecai. Keep going.
Then answered Esther.
Did y'all find some fruit snacks for these kids yet? Did the kids get fruit snacks? No fruit snacks? Y'all talking about too much sugar. There's no more sugar. It ain't gonna do nothing else.
Verse 10.
Come on.
Nevertheless, Haman refrained himself. And when he came home, he sent and called for his friends and Zeresh, his wife.
Haman is a coward, man.
Yeah.
Haman had multiple opportunities to take it to Mordecai. I'm sure he looked at Mordecai. Hell no, I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna send the army to wipe out his people. Come on.
Verse 11. And Haman told them of the glory of his riches and the multitude of his children and all the things wherein the king had promoted him and how he had advanced him above the princes and servants of the king. Verse 12. And Haman said, moreover, yea, Esther, the queen, did let no man come in with the king unto the banquet that she had prepared but myself. And tomorrow am I invited unto her also with the king.
So what is Haman doing?
He bragging.
Haman thinking he made it. He think he getting invited to the king's favorite wife's banquet. He think he done made it. He about to be at the top. He already above all the princes. He think he about to be at the top. Now you ain't got to record me. just get pictures and everything of everybody else. All right. Come on.
Verse 13. Yet all this availeth me nothing so long as I see Mordecai the Jew sitting at the king's gate.
So meaning what? What is the spirit of what's happening here with this heathen, with this devil? What's happening here? Come on now, y'all gotta stick with me. Yanazar, or anybody else want to take a shot? I want to see if you catch the spirit of this devil here. Go ahead, Yanazar.
Man, his hatred is so great that all that he got from the king, all his riches, all his children don't mean nothing more than the hate that he has for Mordecai.
Hey, you got America, man.
That's crazy.
You got America. I mean, you're a world superpower. I mean, you control Europe. You run the earth. You run the earth. I mean, America, you're the richest country on the goddamn planet. You got the greatest military might on the goddamn planet. You run the diamond district. Your people is well fed. You run politics. You still got to kick out the Mexicans. They still got to get kicked out when you run this land. Well, you got land, you got masses of land in the Midwest, masses of land moving towards the West that is being unused. You got everything, but your hatred for this people is so deeply rooted that you can't see past yourself. You can't see past your riches. You can't see past what you've gained. You understand? That's why the scriptures say, because of our perpetual hatred against the children of Israel, they don't care if they've gained the moon. America can take ground on the moon, and they'll still divvy up ways on how to destroy the children of Israel. They'll still find ways to destroy you. Come on, Yanazar, keep going.
Salakia. Verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
Then said Zeresh, his wife, and all his friends unto him,
mm-hmm.
Let a gallows be made of 50 cubits high. And tomorrow speak thou unto the king that Mordecai should be hanged there.
Y'all know what the gallows are, huh?
Kind of one.
Yeah. So now they in they old, heathen house talking S-H-I-T, thinking they made it. Saying let's make gallows 50 cubits high. They saying put it up high so everybody can see, and then hang Mordecai for everyone to see, to bear witness, man. That's what they saying against this brother who is family to the queen, or not the queen, to Esther, who's family to the wife of the king. He has no idea what he's doing, no idea what he about to walk himself into. But let's get it.
Karawan Khan. Oh man, I lost one to banquet.
This next chapter.
This is the book of Esther, chapter 6, in verse 1. On the day, on that night, could not the king sleep, and he commanded to bring the book of records of the chronicles, and they were read before the king. Verse 2. And it was found written that Mordecai had told Bigthana and Teresh, two of the king's chamberlains, the keepers of the door, who sought to lay hands on the king Ahasuerus. Verse 3. And the king said, what honor and dignity have been done to Mordecai for this? Then said the king's servant that ministered unto him, there is nothing done for him. Verse 4. And the king said, who is in the court? Now Haman was coming into the outward court of the king's house to speak unto the king to hang Mordecai on the gallows.
So now they coming to hang Mordecai. They coming to put him up, to ring him up. Come on.
That he had prepared for him. Verse 5. And the king's servant said unto him, behold, Haman standeth in the court. And the king said, let him come in. Verse 6. So Haman came in, and the king said unto him, what shall be done unto the man whom the king delighteth to honor. Now Haman thought in his heart, to whom would the king delight to honor more than myself?
Like, this devil is such a prideful bastard. The scriptures say the pride of his heart had deceived him. It was the same thing with Haman. He's such a prideful bastard. He said, who the hell could the Lord delight in other than me? I'm the king's right hand man. This is like a Disney flick. He's so drunk in his pride. He's so drunk in it that he can't even see what he's doing. You understand? Well, he getting ready to. That's right. He getting ready to. Come on.
Verse 7. And Haman answered the king for the man who the king delighted to honor. Verse 8. Let the royal apparel be brought, which the king useth to wear, and the horse that the king rideth upon, and the crown royal which is set upon his head.
Come on.
Verse 9. And let his apparel and horse be delivered to the hand of the one of the king's most noble princes.
Drop down to verse 12.
Verse 12. And Mordecai came again to the king's gate. But Haman hasted to the house mourning and having his head covered. Verse 13.
Again, I'm going to start skipping around and we might have to move forward a little bit. So if it's something that, you want me to go over, just stop me. All right? Keep going.
And Haman told Zeresh, his wife, and all his friends everything that had befallen him. Then said his wise men and Zeresh, his wife, unto him, Mordecai, verse Salaki, if Mordecai be the seed of the Jews, before whom thou hast begun to fall, thou shalt not prevail against him, but shalt surely fall before him.
Keep going.
Verse 14. And while they were yet talking with him, came the king's chamberlains and hasted to bring Haman unto the banquet that Esther had prepared.
So now Haman world is about to start coming crashing down. Haman about to start, he about to go through it. So now the king is saying, go get Haman and bring him to Esther's banquet. Let's keep going.
Verse 7. So the king and Haman came to the banquet with Esther the queen. And the king said again unto Esther on the second day at the banquet of wine, what is thy petition, Queen Esther? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? And it shall be performed, even to the half of the kingdom.
So now Esther's about to answer and tell the king what it is that she wants. Right? Keep going.
Verse 3. Then Esther the queen answered and said, if I have found favor in thy sight, O king, and if it please the king, let my life be given me at my petition and my people at my request. For we are sold, I and my people, to be destroyed, to be slain, and to perish.
So what is she saying? She telling Haman what? That my people have been sent to the slaughter. My people are being oppressed. My people are sleeping under bridges. My people are stricken from drug addiction. My people are on a low state. She's telling the king. Now she's breaking it down to the king. Mordecai had this idea a long time ago to send Esther into the king's house, commanded that she went into the king's house to use her as a weapon of warfare. Now she's about to fulfill her duties. Now she's about to fulfill her duties. So what happened? Esther said, I can't go into the king's house unannounced. Mordecai fought against that demon, said, don't be selfish. Don't think about yourself. Go in there and speak on the behalf of your people. Now she's in the king's house. Now she's at the banquet. And the king is asking her, what is it that you want? You can have anything. Even if she would have said, I want a rulership over half the kingdom, the king would have gave it to her. You understand? Which means now she's at a crossroads. Now she's at a crossroads where what? On one ear, she has Mordecai telling her to be what? What is Mordecai telling her to be? I just said it. Shalom, sis. The babies are in here tonight. It is more babies than adults. How did that happen? Good night. The baby clapping. The baby clapping more than the brothers. Yeah. What is on one hand, what is Mordecai telling her? To be what? Can they, Salagi, before you answer, y'all got to help me out. Can people hear on the live if they don't have a microphone? All right, then y'all got to work out the microphone situation then. How many microphones do we have?
We got 4, sir.
I got 1, you got 2, 3. Where's the 4th microphone?
I think they're right there. We tested 4. 4 of them was working.
I'll tell you what, this hand on the micro. Nadiab, hand that microphone to Mike Shaw real quick. Just hand it to him quickly. Just give it to him. And then stand there and take it back. Go ahead and answer.
Yeah, so like, sir, I thought he was asking her if you could have anything you want on one hand, and that
what is Mordecai teaching Esther to be?
Oh, so like, sir, to care for a people, but it is a word for that. Right?
What's the word? For Tom's sake, I'm gonna give it to you. Selfless.
Most likely.
Mordecai told Esther to be selfless, but now, damn right. But now, on the other hand, what is open to Esther? Y'all got to understand this. One hand, Mordecai, who is, he family, in the spirit, it could be your father, or it might be your husband, right? Who's telling you to be selfless. But on the other side, this heathen, this king is offering what? What is this king offering? The king is offering the world. The king is offering your wife everything, offering your wife more money, more position. You understand? Just like what's that? Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama, she could have been an instrument of warfare for the children of Israel. Right. But you know what Michelle Obama was? Selfish. She didn't care about her people. She cared about herself. Michelle Obama loved Obama. She loved that nigga. She loved that heathen. You understand? Esther didn't give a damn about this Hamite. I mean, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he was a Hamite or Persian or something like that. He was a Persian. Esther didn't give a damn about this heathen. Michelle Obama loved her heathen. He was a what? Elamite. Question? Come on.
Shalaki, just quick sidebar on that. Based on this story, I'm saying you got this sister marrying this heathen. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, of course, we know that it's unlawful, you know what I'm saying, for any Israelite to marry or be with heathens.
For sure.
So, you break down or explain why this situation of a sister marrying a heathen is actually a cause for celebration instead of looking at it like, well, she shouldn't have been married a heathen in the first place. So like,
basically, you asking, was it a sin that Esther
was this a big sin that's being celebrated? What's going on?
Sin? Was it a sin that Esther slept with this heathen? Anybody want to take a stab at it? Was it a sin that Esther went and slept with this heathen? That's a great question. What do you brothers think? What do you sisters think? Was it a sin? Come on. Go ahead, Maisha. Khan, you think so? Come on.
I would say La'ah, because she was forced in that position. Like, she really didn't have no choice.
You say La'ah. Anyone else? Anyone else want to take a stab at it for time? So you're going to have to be quick on it. Was it a sin?
Yes, it is a sin.
It's a sin?
Yeah, technically.
Anybody else want to take a shot? It was not a sin. It was not a sin. Why? Wasn't that she was forced, right? No, it's not that she knew. Why wasn't it a sin? It wasn't a sin because her father commanded her to do it. That's what a lot of, like, you got to answer that question, you got to take the Christianity off your mind. Christians think, oh, sin. Oh, that was a sin. But how many times listen, you got to understand the times that we in. We enslaved, we oppressed by this nation, we at war. And so sometimes there's things that have to happen for us to get out of this captivity. That's why I keep saying Esther was used as a weapon of warfare. It was not a sin. Let me ask you a question. What's her name? What did Jacob's mother tell Jacob when Jacob went and stole the birthright from Esau? Was it a sin? Answer that first.
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Why not?
Because
what did Jacob's mother say?
She said, "Let the sin be on me."
She said, "Let the sin be on me." When Mattathias, mute that. When Mattathias unalived that brother on the altar, was it a sin? Why?
Because it was justifiable.
Because of what?
The sin that he had committed was punishable by death.
Somebody pull Psalms 119 and 104. Actually, time's sake, I'll read it for you. It says, "Through my precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way." What those brothers did, and likewise what this sister is doing, is fighting against the oppression of these heathens. You understand? So no, it was not a sin, because she was what Esther was doing was following the orders. That's it. That's it. What Esther was doing was following orders. It's no different than Mattathias. It's no different than what Jacob had to do to steal the birthright of Esau. The Lord wanted this to happen. You understand? To answer the question. Keep going.
To be slain and to perish. But if we had been sold for bondmen and bondwomen, I had held my tongue, although the enemy could not countervail the king's damage.
Keep going.
Verse 5. Then the king Ahasuerus answered and said unto Esther, the queen, who is he, and where is he, that durst presume in his heart to do so?
Meaning what? What is the king saying?
Say, who the nigga?
He's saying, who doing this? Who want to kill your people? Who want to slay your people, and so on and so forth? Right? Keep going.
Verse 6. And Esther said, the adversary and the enemy is the wicked Haman.
So Esther said, this is Haman. Haman is doing this thing. You understand? She dropping a bomb on him. That's the man right there. Him. It's like you in court. Who is the person who committed this crime in here today? Yes, him. That nigga right there, Haman. Keep going.
Then Haman was afraid before the king and the queen. Verse 7. And the king.
Hey, hold on 1 second. Everybody. Shema. I know the kids is talking, but everybody else, pay attention. Pay attention. We got 2 hours to do this thing. All right, we shouldn't be talking too much. Keep that to a minimum. Brother Shema, you're going to have to stay on that. All right? Come on.
And the king, arising from the banquet of wine in his wrath, went into the palace garden, and Haman stood up to make requests for his life to Esther the queen.
Keep going.
For he saw that there was evil determined against him by the king.
So now his world crashing down. It's over for Haman. Now he said, oh, Lord, please. Hey, look, I know what I was about to do, but please hear me out. He trying to save his life now. You understand? Keep going.
Verse 8. Then the king returned out of the palace garden into the place of the banquet of wine. And Haman was fallen upon the bed whereupon Esther was. Then said the king, will he force the queen also before me in the house? As the word went out of the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face.
Uh-oh. He in trouble now, man. Let's go.
Verse 9.
What we got? How many chapters? We got 10, right?
Yeah,
let's roll.
The last two are kind of short, too.
Let's roll. The water.
Verse 9. And Harbona, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, behold, the gallows 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for Mordecai, who had spoken good for the king, standeth in the house of Haman. Then the king said, hang him thereon.
So the Lord, Salakia, the king said, look, the YAHANNA made these gallows 50 cubits high. He made it high for Mordecai. That's what the YAHANNA made it for. He wanted to hang Mordecai on them gallows and then continue on to unalive and crusade against the Jews that lived in the kingdom. And the king said, what? He said, take Haman and hang him on that damn gallows. Put him up there. You understand why? Because he wanted to kill his wife's people, and his wife happened to be a bad sister, a bad broad by the name of Esther, man. You understand? And she, in this moment, I always think about this moment here, right? Like if there was ever vindication, I feel like Mordecai was getting it right here. He was like, everything that I did with this woman, every command that I gave this sister, and then the way she followed these commands and did it right, it's something that it's almost like a sister when you bake the finest cake. When you start from scratch, or you make that unleavened bread and you start from scratch and you wine in the dough, weed in the dough, and you working it and meshing these ingredients together, and then out comes just the perfect cake. Out comes just the perfect dish. Everything that happened from Mordecai giving his commands and Esther following orders, it's starting to be something that is unspeakable, right? The salvation of the children of Israel in this day. Keep reading. Let's get some more.
I don't want to come.
Mm-hmm.
So they hanged Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai.
Mm-hmm.
Then was the king's wrath pacified.
So now the king did what? All of the talk about killing the Jews, the king was done with that. He did away with that. You understand why? Because of what this sister did. Using her what? Using her femininity. You understand? Obeying the orders of her father, of Mordecai. You understand? And this power is the power that sisters have today. This is the power that you have today. Like I know the spirit or the demon that wants to tell you that brothers here today are low down in nothing because they can't get jobs, because they don't have money, because of the lifestyle that they live. The brothers you sleep with, they not kings. You understand? They don't drive Bentleys and Mercedes Benzes and live in palaces like the oppressor does. The oppressor, however, has those palaces, and they have the money, and they have the resource, and they also have the intent to destroy your husband. The men that you do sleep with, that oppressor has every intent of destroying that man. And so now what do we have? We have a crossroads. Well, now a sister can have one idea to be what? Selfless, like Esther was. Go into those workplaces, go into them fields, prosper into those fields, and give it back to your people, or accept what the oppressor gives you and turn your back on your nation. Esther decided to not turn her back on her nation. Esther decided to risk her life for her nation, and that is honorable, man. And that is something that is achieved by you sisters in the school every day. Every day, you sisters in the Israelite school of UPK, you achieve that honor. Why? Why do I say that? Because it is a crime for you to love a black man. It is absolutely a crime for you to say that you love a black man. To go on Facebook and praise the Lord and say that you thank the Lord for being with a black man, for being with the nigga that you got, and you happy about it. You know what the world will say? The world will call you a fool. Let's say you foolish for that. The world will call you a fool for saying you love the Israelite school of UPK. You know what they're going to say, Tabawan? They're going to say she just a pick me. She just a pick me for going up there and saying that the Israelite school of UPK gave her super fucking man, gave her Batman, gave her Spider-Man, whatever superhero you like, you got it from the Israelite school of UPK, and you ain't afraid to say it because that's a crime against America's laws. It's a crime to not put your husband on child support. It's a crime to not call the police on your husband when you get into an argument. It's a crime to do those things in America, man. Esther fought against those laws. Esther knew that it was a crime to go into the king's chamber unannounced. She didn't give a damn. Esther didn't give a damn about her life, and she went into the king's chambers. Why? Because she understood one thing was more important than herself. Her nation of people, man, that was counting on her to get the job done. That was counting on her. And you sisters, man, like I said before, you in the game. This ain't the football game with the sisters, just the cheerleaders. Yeah, you cheer your husbands on. You cheer the brothers on. But it's you sisters gonna be in the field. You gonna get up there. You gonna braid them brothers' heads. You gonna sew them garments together. You gonna cook the food. Shout out to the sister who cooked the food tonight. Who all cooked the food tonight? Who brought the food? Raise your hand. We got Shabak. We got the wild. Who's there in the back hiding? Ooh, I can't even see who that is. We got sister in the back. We got sisters in here, man, who done did the work of the Lord tonight, man. And that is a crime against America. You got to find that zeal and you got to hold on to it the way that Esther did. Not being selfless, but thinking about your nation. And let that be your wisdom. Let that be your power in this place, man. To back these brothers. Back these brothers that go out here and fight against the oppressor. Back these brothers that go out here and fight against America on behalf of the Mexicans who do not understand. Behalf of the Haitians who don't understand that they're being oppressed. That they're at war. That they're fighting a war that they can't even see. You got a man in here, you better count it a blessing. And if you got a woman in here, you better count it a blessing to the Most High God that these sisters will fall into these footsteps, man. They gonna be like Esther. They gonna do it. They for sister that came thousands of years before them. And you brothers, you gonna honor them sisters like that, man. But before we get to that, let's keep going.
This is the book of Esther, chapter 8 and verse 1. On that day did the king Ahasuerus give the house of Haman to the Jews, enemy unto Esther, the queen.
Go ahead.
And Mordecai came before the king, for Esther had told what he was unto her.
Keep going.
Verse 2. And the king took off his ring, which he had taken from Haman, and gave it unto Mordecai.
So now what? All of the renting of the clothes, all of the commands he gave Esther, now the king want to take off the power and give it to Mordecai now. Look, what did Mordecai not do? Mordecai didn't say go in there and kiss the white man's behind. Mordecai didn't tell his wife to go and watch Edomite. I ain't gonna say it.
Yeah, man, we know what you mean.
No Sakari. The Mordecai didn't tell her to go and join with the oppressor, and that's where a lot of black fathers you lack. A lot of black fathers you lack compassion on your people because you see what you are. You see how terrible you are as a brother, that you lack compassion on blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians altogether because you are you. When you should have more compassion on your people. So what do black fathers do? I know a lot of black fathers who say, stay away from them Negroes. Stay away from them niggas. Don't be over there. Black fathers be happy that that their daughters is in the house of the king, is in Donald Trump's house. A lot of black fathers, not all of them, but some of them. And if you got that spirit on you, you got to get that off of you, man. So I tell you something. It's better for your daughter to be shacked up in some shed with some black man rather than your daughter to be sleeping with Donald Trump, rather than her to be sleeping with Elon Musk. She can have all the riches and power. I'd rather my daughter just be poor. Just be poor. Just be poor and just have no money and just serve that man in that shack or on the street with that one dog you got. Just be homeless. But don't ever give your love and your power to another man thinking you can hide from that. What did Mordecai say? Mordecai said, don't think that you can hide in the king's house. Don't think that because you have money, that because you have power, because you have responsibility, that you are not a nigga just like the rest of us. That's what you have to teach your daughters. Go and get the education, get the job, get the resources. But when you get it, you better give it back to your people, because that's who you come from. And more sisters will come from them than will ever come from that white oppressor. More sisters like you will come from them shacked up in a shed. They'll come from poverty than that white Donald Trump could ever give you. Donald Trump can have all the money in the world, could never birth a black woman. Donald Trump can have all the money in the world, could never birth a Mexican or a Native Indian. Donald Trump is a destruction of Israel. It'll never be the birth of it, man. So you better give your love to those who can give you more of this kingdom, man. Thus saith the Lord. That's what the Lord wants, and that's what Mordecai wanted. Mordecai wanted for Esther to go in there, take those resources, and give it back to her people. Why? Because when her brothers and her sisters got those resources, who can imagine what's going to happen? What happens to the nation that was once on the edge of being destroyed? What happens then when they get the resources? Someone think about it. What did Moses think? I mean, not Moses. What did Pharaoh think would happen? Come on, I.S.U.P.K. We said we'll have a nation that'll rise and be mightier than us. We ain't never gonna have a nation mightier than us if we love our oppressor. We have to love our nation. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, man. Otherwise known as the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. That's how you get strong again. That's how you get strong again. And sisters, that's your way of playing in this field. What Esther is giving you is your way to fight against those demons of selfishness. To look at your husband and say, you know what? He's the man that battles for me. He's the man that battles for homelessness. You won't have it if you don't have what as a sister? Compassion for your brothers. You won't have it. If you don't look at the homeless black men on the street and a tear cries from your heart. If you don't have compassion for the drug addicts, for those that are in prison, for the babies without fathers, you understand? Then you'll never understand why it is so important for you to stand behind your husband, for you to stand behind that man as he goes to camp, as he goes to battle against all of the things the oppressor has put on us, man. That's something that you cannot forget. You never forget that. You understand? Keep reading. Let's go.
Verse 3.
We got 8 minutes. Mahayah, where you at?
And Esther
Tell him, come here.
spake yet again before the king and fell down at his feet and besought him with tears to put away the mischief of Haman the Agagite and his device that he had devised against the Jews. Verse 4. Then the king held out the golden scepter toward Esther. So Esther arose and stood before the king and said, if it please the king, and if I have found favor in thy sight, and the thing seem right before the king, and I be pleasing in his eyes, let it be written to reverse letters devised by Haman, the son of the Hammedatha, the Agagite, which he wrote to destroy the Jews which are in the king's provinces. Verse 6, for how can I endure to see the evil that shall come unto my people? Or how can I endure to see the destruction of my kindred?
What's he saying now? He's trying to undo what Haman has set place. Remember, because the letters were sent out to the post already. They had already got their order. So now they trying to undo what Haman has done. Why? Because even in getting power, this is Mordecai, right? This is Mordecai. Even in gaining the power or that recognition from the king, Mordecai is at the same crossroads that Esther was at. He can just take the power and say, you know what? I'm rich. I'm TD Jakes now. I'm good. I don't gotta worry about nothing else. I got he giving me a Rolls Royce, a nice mansion. I'm done. Hey, look, the rest of them niggas is on their own. I'll come see y'all every Sunday. That's about it. You understand? But he's still doing what? What is Mordecai doing? Choosing to be selfless. You understand? and to give it back to his people. Come on.
Verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
Then the king Ahasuerus said
Mm-hmm.
unto Esther the queen
Mm-hmm.
and to Mordecai the Jew,
Mm-hmm.
behold, I have given Esther the house of Haman,
Mm-hmm.
and him they have hanged upon the gallows,
Mm-hmm.
because he laid his hands upon the Jew.
Keep going.
Verse 8. Write ye also for the Jews, as is liketh you, in the king's name, and seal it with the king's ring. For the writing which is written in the king's name and sealed with the king's ring may no man reverse.
Y'all understand that, right?
Come
on, keep going.
Verse 9. Then were the king's scribes called at the time in the 3rd month, that is the month of Sivan, on the 23rd day thereof, and it was written according to all that Mordecai commanded unto the Jews.
We're gonna move a little bit forward, right? Like, you got like Mordecai, he became favor amongst the children of Israel because of what he did using his daughter, which is why also, brother, you gotta understand this too. Raising your daughters is important. Don't take raising your daughters lightly. The daughter you raising could be the woman who saves the nation of Israel. Don't think it's so far-fetched. Don't think like, oh yeah, I know I got a little kid, but she probably be a ballerina, a lawyer or something. Nah, she could be the salvation of Israel. You don't know. She could. And this is a story to prove it. So you have to train that way. Training your daughter up is important. How she dress, how she talk, the mannerisms you give her, the discipline that you give her, the understanding that you give her, but through wisdom. You have to train your daughters in that way because she is important. You understand? And you have to remember that, because a lot of brothers all want what? What do all brothers want in children? They all want sons. And I get it. I mean, shit. I said, hell, I wish I had 10 sons. Why? You want to see your sons beat? I can't wait to see my son beat somebody up. I just let it be an Edomite. I just Salakia. If I gotta get checked for that, I get checked for it. But I just can't wait for the day. The boy come back home. I got into a fight today. What happened? Boy, I knocked him out. He bloody. He in the ER right now. Whew. Yes, I like that. Let's go to Frankie's. Yeah. That's cool. But your daughters, don't lack on them. Don't let the mother. Don't. I'm gonna raise the daughters. I'm gonna raise the sons. I'm gonna let the mother raise the daughter. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't let the sister raise that daughter. You raise that daughter the same way you raise that sister. You take charge of your house. You understand? Because you have to. This nation is at war. This nation is oppressed. And them daughters are our resource. Those daughters breed more soldiers. And those soldiers are raised by those daughters. You have to raise those daughters up so that they breed quality men, so that they don't breed men who are malnutritioned, affected by drugs. You understand? You have to raise your daughter up so that this nation of Israel can be healed. So take the time to raise your little girls, because you never know how important, what need they may have. You never know. Keep going. Actually, where we at? Drop down to go to verse 9. Let's finish it up.
Chapter 9.
Yeah, chapter 9. Salaki, I keep saying verse 9.
Of Esther, chapter 9 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Now in the 12th month, that is the month of Adar. And
Salaki, I forgot one thing. Also, too, Mordecai was able. They was able to go and kill everybody that was against them. Everybody who was getting ready to go and unalive the Jews. Oh, they was able to go unalive them. They went on a hunting party. You understand? That's what happened there. But go ahead, verse 9.
Now, in the 12th month, that is the month of Adar, on the 13th day of the same, when the king's commandment and his decree drew near to be put in execution, in the day that the enemies of the Jews hoped to have power over them, though it was turned to the contrary, that the Jews had rule over them, that hated them.
So the tables turned. The tables turned, man. And all of this happened because of Esther, man. I want you to go into the Apocrypha real quick. I want to go to the edition of Esther. I want to go to chapter 14 and verse, let me see here. Verse 15. We're going to end here. We're going to end here. Edition of Esther, chapter. You got it? In verse 15.
This is the book.
I just want to, because the brother asked a question earlier, was it a sin? Right? This is the difference between Esther and this is the difference between Michelle Obama. Right. Remember, Michelle Obama loved Obama. She don't give a damn about her people. She loves her heathen husband. Esther was a weapon and a tool that was used during a time when we was in captivity, when we was oppressed, so that our people could get out of captivity. And that's how you got to think about it. When we are oppressed, it's no different than Mattathias when he had to slay that Israelite at the altar. Why? Because he had to show his people how to serve the Lord. Because we hate all false ways. Everything against the Lord we hate. You understand? But sometimes we got to get down and dirty. We got to go and do it. We got to go to camp. Sometimes we got to do it. That's how them fake Israelites, they be on us. How you at camp doing this and blah, 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 blah. And we oppressed. And if it means that I got to go and save a Mexican brother on a Saturday, then that's what we got to do. That's what we going to do. You understand? No different than what Jacob's mother said. Is it Jacob's mother or who am I thinking about? Yeah, Jacob's mother. She said what? Let thy sin be upon me. You understand? Read what you got. Let's see what Esther had to say about it.
Now, this is, and like I said, if I may, this whole chapter is a prayer. It's her prayer for her and her people.
Yeah, I know.
Verse. Sure. This is the book of Esther. The rest of Esther in the Apocrypha, 14 and 15. Thou knowest all things, O Lord. Thou knowest that I hate the glory of the unrighteous.
She hate the glory of the unrighteous. She hated to see them heathens winning. She hated to see that kingdom flourishing. She absolutely hated it. You understand? Keep going.
And abhor the bed of the uncircumcised.
And she abhorred the bed of the uncircumcised. Who know what that means? What is she saying there? Come on, Maestro. She hated them heathens. She abhorred the bed of them uncircumcised, meaning what? She having sex with that man, and every second of it was displeasing unto her. She hated it. She would have been rather just having sex with some old Joe Schmo down the block who sells weed. She would have rather have done that. As long as he was an Israelite. She hated and abhorred the bed of heathens. That heathen king. Keep going.
Verse 16. Thou knowest my necessity.
But the Lord knew her necessity. The Lord knew what she was to be used for. Keep going.
For I abhor the sign of my high estate.
Meaning what? She was in that nursing building and that white man was giving her that money and she making 6 figures a year. But for her people's sake who are starving, she abhorred that position. She hated it for her people's sake. You understand? Keep going.
Which is upon my head in the days wherein I shew myself, and that I abhor it as a menstruous rag.
She hated it like a blood clot.
Blood clot.
She hated it like that. It was disgusting to her. She didn't want it. I'm doing an accent on purpose in case I did not. This is terrible, right? But she hated it, man. Why? Because how can you enjoy these royalties when your people are scavenging for food? Right. How can you enjoy the glory that America gives you when there are brothers and sisters who are fighting for the lives of their daughters and sons and their lives on the border right now? I know your sons is right with you. Your daughters are with you. You see them every day. Your sons and your daughters are okay. But them Mexican sons, their daughters are not with them. There's stories on the border. I'll tell you this story real quick. There's a story of a Mexican man and his daughter, and they were getting separated because he was getting deported from America. His daughter was old enough to understand. And so he told his daughter one day before he got deported, he said, look up at the moon every night, the fullness of the moon. And every night that you look at that moon, know that we looking at the same thing. And that means we're not too far from each other. And I heard that broke my heart out. That broke my heart. So imagine having to tell your daughter that. When you know in your mind you thousands of miles away from her. But to console her, you had the only thing you had to give her was the moon. That was it. So how can you pleasure in this kingdom? How can you do it? How can you enjoy the riches of this world, the wealth of this world, the royalties that America wants to give you? How can you stand for the national anthem? You can stand for the national anthem while America gets fat, while America gets rich, while we got stories like that circle our lives every day. I know our lives is fine, right? Our lives is okay because we have a car, we got a job, and whatever else we got, right? Every black person you got, I know we struggling, right? But imagine having to die because you being caught in illegal. Right. Struggling is so bad until your children have to die. Struggling is so bad until you never get to see your children again. Then struggling ain't that bad no more. The only way we fix this condition is by being selfless. And that is an instrument of destruction to our oppressor. Being selfless. Brotherhood and sisterhood, man. That's the only way we fix it. Brother, you had something? Give him a microphone.
When you leave tonight, check out the moon. It looked like a blood moon. I looked at it, I took a picture. It looked like a red light. You know what I'm saying? So Lord knows, those are the signs of the times. You understand?
Most time Christ. Brother said there's a blood moon out there.
You go outside, it look dusty orange, kind of like the lion on the backdrop.
Hey, look, I tell you what, blood moon or no blood moon, I pray for the day that the streets of America is bathing in blood of our oppressors, man. That's what I pray for. Blood moon or not. Because that's what the Lord gonna bring back to us, man. For the crimes against our people, against the children of Israel, man. So take this story, sisters, man, and take this and put it into your repertoire. I know we hear about it every year, but this is a very, very important story of one of our ancestors, man, a sister by the name of Esther, and how she saved the nation of Israel. Teach this story to your daughters. Teach this story to your sons, to the whole nation of Israel, man. You understand? And keep doing the work that we're doing now. With that being said, we got some scissors. We got some scissors. We gonna acknowledge. We got some scissors we gonna acknowledge, man. Brothers, if you could, I might you. Saw and turn her face to sisters. I want you brothers to stand for these sisters, man. The sisters in this room, the sisters online with us, and the sisters who won't be named that is across the world in the Israelite school of UPK. These sisters are your Esther. They are your instrument. You got to use these sisters because these sisters are willing to be used by you. They willing to be the instrument that is needed to be to save the children of Israel from our destruction, from our oppression. And these sisters, man, is coming to the truth, some longer than others. Some have done a lot of work, some done a little work. But nonetheless, these sisters have done work, put in work, and will put in more work, thus save the Most High. And I want to give a shout out to all of these sisters, man. Sister Kalaya Pa. Y'all can start clapping for these sisters, man. Sister Arabah. Sister Yakara, Maya Panya, Kayana, Nora, Sister Brittany, Sister Naimia, Sister Yaparana. We got Sister Nasha, Nakwaya, Kaya, Yara'a, Kamawada, Awaya. Yeah, keep clapping. Yeah, keep clapping. It's a lot of sisters. Kum Yashala. It's a lot of sisters. Keep clapping. The Kwawama, Ashakawa, the Wa, Ainawa, Zabawada, Yaparana, Salaki, Shabakwana, Sapaya, Nataya, Matana, and Kwarana. Sisters, on behalf of Commander General YAHANNA and the Israelite School of UPK, it is my honor and duty to give y'all sisters the glory that y'all deserve, man, and the recognition that y'all deserve to stand with these brothers. I love these brothers standing right here, and the brothers not with us that's serving the Lord under Commander General YAHANNA. And you sisters are serving them brothers well, and you're going to continue to serve them brothers well. And we also going to see y'all at the Passover, ain't we? I heard that. So you sisters stay strong. Stay into that spirit. Fight those demons. Fight that demon of selfishness. Be selfless. Be feminine to your mind. Love your husband and love them children. Because it's damn sure a lot of them. Y'all got to love them because I don't know if I can. There's too many of them children. Ain't enough fruit snacks to go around. But understand this. Just like in the days of Mordecai and Esther, when Mordecai commanded his daughter to do things that in otherwise she wouldn't have had to do, wouldn't have thought to do. He knew that by giving her those orders, by telling her what to do, telling her how to dress, telling her how to behave, telling her how to talk, what to worship and what not to worship. He knew that one day the Lord would have use for her to be an instrument that will one day save the children of Israel. Your husbands is no different than Mordecai. And they know the use for you. They know your resource. They know who you are. So when they give you them orders, sis, I want you to follow it in the same manner that Esther followed Mordecai. And you love your husband and obey your husbands. And you be bad as hell like Mordecai was, because I know you sisters can do it. Come Yashala. Come Yashala. Come Yashala. Give them sisters a hand, man. Men of Israel, YAHANNA, you could be seated. With that, we're going to close out the Feast of Esther, man. That's the end of the class. I know we didn't read the last chapter. If need be, you could go read the last chapter. It ends it out on the last remarks of Esther and what she did. It's definitely heavy. Go read it. You understand? But with that, I'm going to pass the class over to who? Priest and officer of 50, Nadia. Give him a hand. Give him another mic. Somebody give him a mic. Microphone.
Men of Israel, we'll give one courtesy salute.
You gotta raise him up. You gotta raise him up.
Men of Israel, Amadia. I'm going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Amadia. Amadia Shabbat. Amadia. Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabrakatah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabrakatah.
Yad Matah. Sorry, and face the sisters. We're going to give one courtesy. Sisters, Amadia. We're going to give one salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Amadia. Amadia Shabbat. Amadia. Barak. Yahweh Shema Latah Bashim Yahweh Shah. Yad Matah. You may be seated. Security announcements. units. We're the I.S.U.P.K. Start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Junior YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew and pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny or increase the Lord gives you, you give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation will be the Lord's 56th annual Passover, which will be held in Atlanta, Georgia. Remind Akim and Akwat
The date.
Passover will be held on April 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. And to pay your Passover fee, you go to ISUPK.com, click on tithes and donation, and you type in your $200 and you pay. Make sure that you put your a note that specifies for a Passover fee. $200 for every adult 17 and older. That's right. Remind Akim and Akwathium to check social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or Slakia, and so on for I.S.U.P.K. events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, class is dismissed.
Salakia. Now don't clip it. Before we clip the live, we got something to do, right? Before we clip the live, we got something to do. If y'all brothers could just bear with us.
Let everybody need your attention for a moment. Everybody keep the talking down to a minimum. I need the brother known as Officer 50, Maya Shaw, to step up, please. Baba Kashat. Officer Maya Shaw came into the truth a few years back. Satan definitely was tying fire to him. You understand? He was going through so many stumbling blocks and things like that, but he has risen up above all of that, and he has shown that he's willing to take the reins and be a responsible officer in the school and be of service to Commander Junior YAHANNA of the I.S.U.P.K. You understand? Right now, Officer Maya Shaw, you will be raised up to an officer of 500. Let's take this forward. All right, everybody quiet. We're gonna just do these prayers. Yabaraki Yahweh, Y.A.S.U.P.K, Yahweh, Panyawa, Al-Yaka, Wayakunka, Yasa Yahweh, Panyawa, Al-Yaka, Wayasumlaka, Shalom, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Barak, Rapah, Magun, Hagun, Mayasah, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, the water, Aman. In the English, Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless, heal, shield, and protect Officer 500, Maya Shaw. Kum ya Shalom! Kum ya Shalom! Kum ya Shalom! Kum ya We're not done. Step to the side, soldier. Right here. Officer YAHANNA, step up to the plate. Officer YAHANNA came in as a young man. He was overweight. He was in bad health, but he was able to come to class diligently, withstand the rigorous training of Hebrew Academy. He never missed a camp day unless Satan or the Lord just wanted him to get rest and would make his vehicle collapse so he can catch a break. He's always willing to volunteer to assist. You know what I'm saying? Officer YAHANNA is a Tawab brother. I'll say this personally. He's a Tawab brother. He is my dear friend. He is my brother in this truth. He is an excellent soldier for Commander Junior YAHANNA. And I vouch for this brother right here. Officer YAHANNA, you are now being raised up to an officer of 1,000. What's up here? Yabaraki Yahweh. Y.A.H.N.N. Yahweh. Panyawa. Al-Yaka. Y-A-K-N-K. Yasha Yahweh. Panyawa. Al-Yaka. Y-A-S-U.P.K. Shalom. Yahweh. Bahashim. Yahweh Shah. Barak. Rapah. Magan. Hagan. Yanazar. 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 Bahashim Yahweh Shah. The water. Aman. In the English. Yahweh, bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh, make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh, lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless, heal, shield, and protect Officer of 1,000, YAHANNA. Step to the side. Officer 500, Mahayar, front and center. Officer Mahayar has been in the Durham school from the beginning, one of the cornerstones. You understand? He's definitely a soldier. He came into this truth and he grasped onto the concept of brotherhood and understanding that our father, Captain I.S.U.P.K, that's it. That became his spiritual father in this truth. And he always looked up to Captain I.S.U.P.K, always wanted to weigh his actions against what Captain I.S.U.P.K teaches. You understand? He's always a reminder of, we weren't taught that, sir. Salaki, sir. I don't know if we should do that. Let me call Cap. That's all. This brother is one west to the death. One west to the death. Absolutely, absolutely. One west to the death. He comes in, he teaches his ribs, you know what I'm saying? He actually dedicated his time to coming into the school, cleaning it up, getting things organized. He has stepped up. And like all of us, Satan always tests us. You know what I'm saying? There was a point in time we was wondering what was going on with Mahayar. You understand? We didn't know if he was losing his zeal or what. But you know, when some people get that fire under them, you know what I'm saying? They just burn. But Mahayar rose up. He stood up. He said, look, I could take it. You know what I'm saying? I could do it. I'll take this challenge. You know what I'm saying? That's what I see in Mahayar. There's no way. I had to fight and plead with Captain I.S.U.P.K for this. But this brother is a 1,000. You are now being raised up to officer of 1,000. One thing from Officer 1,000, you're a mock.
If I could. Now, this brother right here, man, a lot of y'all don't know if you didn't catch the history show on the CBP. But this brother is a brother I came into this truth with, man. And let me tell you something. The most important thing that this brother does is get on my everlasting nerve. This brother right here, he get on my nerves. Why? Because this brother doesn't change. He don't change. You know what I'm saying? This brother, he came into this truth and he found new fathers. And he followed those fathers. He followed them to a T, so much and so that his name means diligent, because that's what he is. And in finding new fathers, I found a brother in this brother right here, man. And I just want to say congratulations. I just want to make sure I said something, man.
And with that, the anointing prayer up here. Yabaraki Yahweh. Y.A.H.U.P.K. Yahweh. Panyawa. Al-Yaka. Wayakunka. Yasai Yahweh. Panyawa. Al-Yaka. Wayasumlaka. Shalom. Yahweh. Bahashem. Yahweh. Barak. Rapah. Magan. Hagan. Mahaya. 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 Bahashem Yahweh. The water Aman. In the English, Yahweh, bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh, make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh, lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless, heal, shield, and protect Officer of 1,000, Mahayar. Officer, what was that? Go ahead.
I just want to say, as a kind of an older brother, like, I have conversation with this young man. I'm old enough to be his father. You understand? But he's my Ottawa. Understand? And I've never met a young man at this age that displays so much patience and wisdom, man. I love this brother, man. He's been a powerful example to me. And I'm really proud to be raised with him. Shalom, sir. The water.
And with that, Amadium Shabbat, Barak. Yahweh Shim Yahweh Shabrakatham. Kum Yashala. Kum Yashala. Kum Yashala. Who's the power? Who's the power? Who do we fear? Who do we fear? Who's your king? Who's your king? What's your name? What? Yajimata, dismiss.
Welcome to Atlanta. Christ, this Officer 5,000, Jeremiah, the camp leader of Atlanta. Passover 2025, starting April the 9th, we got the lamb slaughter. April the 10th, we got General Muhammad's flag. April the 11th, we got the black party that's gonna have the Hebrew graduation. April the 12th, in Atlanta, Georgia, the 56th annual Passover, the only Passover under Commander Junior YAHANNA.
Our great and holy King has honored us for turning our lives from the darkness to the light, man. There's no greater gift you can receive than to wake up to the truth and then commit your life to saving your brothers, man. Looking in their eyes and seeing their faces and seeing what they've suffered and what they've gone through and seeing the end of it, man. It is a guaranteed seat in the kingdom of heaven, man. So in the name of our King Yahweh Shai, we dedicate dedicate us another Passover of brothers and sisters' lives being saved.
April the 13th, we got the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
Shalom.